Welcome to our acrylic class today. We've got our Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother's house. And I think that I found this picture because it reminds me of a storybook probably that I read when I was little, but I just imagined grandmother living in this little house. So this is very different. I'm going to switch my camera to the tabletop so that you can see my first draft of this. Okay, this is how it turned out. And it's very different than what we usually do, right? It's a little bit more cartoony, a little bit more graphic. How I did this is we paint around all our shapes in black, and then we fill in the color. So it's almost like coloring book because we have it all traced and all the outlines are traced. And then I went over black with black Sharpie, a wide tip black Sharpie afterwards to firm up the black and stuff. But I didn't touch up with any paint. I just made it more graphic with the black pen. There's that way of doing it. There's also more of a watercolor way where we take and we'll just go ahead and paint and block our colors in, and then afterwards we'll take our finest brush and go in with black and do it, or you can use a Sharpie at the end, a finer tip Sharpie, okay? So again, there's the two styles, and I need you to decide which you really want to go for today. This color, it's going to be more this color of paints because we are using acrylics and this was done with watercolor. So you are going to have brighter colors today. I'm more concerned about the outline and the process, okay? So give me a thumbs up or a reaction if you would like to do the cartoony one. Okay, let me see everybody. Okay, so that's 3 of you. Okay, so I'm assuming, 4 of you, okay. And those that don't have their camera up, you still can give me a reaction at the bottom bar, that smiley face. You can click on it, okay. How many want to do this one? So it was 4 for this one and 3, okay. So if you want to do this one, then you can go ahead and start basing your colors in. If you want to do this one, we're going to spend some time outlining in black with our paint. And I don't care which you choose, but I'm going to demonstrate the black one because this is a way, if you've looked at a lot of acrylic paintings right now, a lot of them will put black on their canvas completely and then paint on top of it. So today, that's kind of what we're doing. Except we're not using as much black paint. We are just going to use this. Okay, so I need the speaker view so I can see that it's all in here. Line up my canvas, square it up. Okay, you're gonna wanna put water on your brush to begin with. We're gonna start with our finest brush. And we're going to dip in our black and we'll just do a small outline. Don't worry about making it smooth. You're going to paint over the edges. So we're just, and as you notice, the picture that I sent you was bigger than the canvas. Make sure you do the edges with your black, wherever you're going to do black. In case you don't frame this, at least you can have it finished on the outside. Okay. You need to work. I didn't save me a plate, but I will just use my butcher paper as my palette, or freezer paper. Freezer paper works wonderful to use as a palette. Now I want to make my black thin enough that it flows really easily. So now that we've got all our outlining done, we're going to start basing in. If you can see this one, this is very dark. I'm going to take you guys lighter than this so that we can do our clouds white. Okay. So to do that, I was using most of the colors just straight out of the jars. And you can do that. You're just going to have a strong painting like line. I'm going to be working with the blue brush right now. Or if you feel more comfortable with your larger round brush, that's fine too. Again, I don't have a plate, so I'm just gonna scoop some white out to begin with. I might add just a little bit of white to this. I don't know if you can see it. Got a little palette there. I'm just blending a little bit of white to make it lighter. You can actually, this is a fun place to blend right on the palette too. So again, I'm going to do the edge. And then I'm going to come around. And just start basing it in, going around the black. We do not leave our white canvas white. We paint white paint on top of it. You don't want to leave just a canvas. You can leave gesso, like I could paint over it and paint gesso on it. But we always just kind of go over everything with white. So that would be my next step. But I don't want these totally white clouds. So I am gonna bring in, and you'll see, I'm just gonna dip in my blue and bring in some wispy blue. Okay, so all of you received a yellow pastel. It's an oil pastel in your kit. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some highlights on the flowers before we paint it, and also on the building before we paint it. Okay? And what that does, it almost acts like a wax resist, if you know what I mean. So let me zoom in on the flower real quick, and I'll show you what I mean. We're just going to do the petal. So I'm just going to, not even showing up on your, can you guys see that? Probably not, right? Let me try the big one. If you can't see that, I'll try this orange one. You probably will see the orange one. You just want to do the circular motions that the flower might have. But you do it with your yellow one. On the house, I'm just going, look at your reference photo. It's just got some tick marks in the roof. So I'm just doing that. And also on the building. Just make little marks like stone, I guess, would be, you're just outlining some of the brick. Okay. So I'm going to pause the video and you guys just... Okay, so the next step that we do is the green trees. And you probably have 2 colors of green, hopefully, to use on this. We're just going to base it in. You can add white, you could add yellow, but you can also just use the color, that mint color that's in your kit. And just go ahead and I lightened the green, especially on these top ones. I may use the green straight out of the container later on. Mine turned out quite a bit like mint, so I may add a bit of yellow to that. I'm also flattening out all these little jiggity-jaggities in the black outline, so I'll need to put those back in when I use my felt pen. But I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it too much right now. So I'm just going to dip in the yellow and bring some in just on top of the green that I've already painted. If you guys know this yellow, it is not opaque. It is a see-through kind of color. So, which makes it good for a lot of applications. But if you really want a true yellow, you have to do a white undercoating or mix it with a little bit of white to make it a true yellow. See how that yellow's set up? That's nice. Then we can heat over here. So this green is underneath the the other greens. So I'm going to go darker right here to show that it's behind. It's behind and there might be a shadow on it. The next part, let me push this up. The next part of it is this backstory, like trees in the background. But while I still have green on my brush, I'm going to pick up some blue, and that's going to be a dusky blue-green in that hedge back here. Then as you transition down, you'll see that it goes from right here, it goes from the dusky blue to even a darker blue, then to a purple. I may have done this a little bit too dark, but we're going with it now. And then we can dip right in our purple, and that goes right here. Some of you may have a dark purple. You might need to lighten that a little bit. I guess we still have this blue brush. This blue over here too. So now I'm going to get the blue out of my brush because I just want to concentrate on the green. We're going to use straight green from the little thing to do this back shrub. Now the green is a lot like the yellow straight out of the jar. It's a little bit transparent, so you do need to add just a dab of white. And what that does is it opaques it up really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the yellow and the green. We're getting progressively lighter as we get close to the bottom. And I'm going to add a little blue to do this back shrub. Still want green. Let's and I'm not going to waste this green on my brush, so I'm just going to go over here and work off a square of the green. I'm just filling in this bottom corner with just extra paint that was on my brush. Okay, so now I'm going back into the grass back here. So then I've made for the grass a really light, I'm going over it with yellow. If you look at the picture, this is quite yellow. It'll be mostly our light green, and then we'll add some yellow on top. I'm kind of just mixing right on the palette. Our next color that we're going to introduce is the red. So I'm using red straight out of the little pot to do the roof. And then we can add a little bit of orange by adding yellow to it. But to lay it down and begin, I'm just going to do red. Mostly because I think Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother is her maternal grandmother. No, her paternal grandmother. And so she would have a red house, a red roof house. Oh, you guys might want to leave that white. I just painted it red though. But this trim, darn. My trim's going to be red. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if this is going to work. This wax resist. I don't see it. I think that acrylic is covering it up. I'm going to add yellow to this, just on top, just to give it a little bit of a glow. It's not going to be solid. While I've got red on my paintbrush, I'm going to jump over to the right-hand side and do the red flowers. I'm not worried about, I'm going right over the resist. I don't think it's really working anyway. We'll add it again at the end. When it's all dry, you can go back over with the oil pastel. Okay, it's just that row there. And next I'm going to do pink. So I'm not too worried because I had a lot of red on my brush, but I'm going to scoop up a bunch of white and make it pink. First I'll do my pink flowers. I'm going to do the shutters now because we've got the pink on them. So let me zoom in on these pink flowers. While they're still wet, they look purple on the screen. While they're still wet, I'm going to just take red on top of my pink brush, and I'm just going to do a swirl for the center. It's like two C shapes, opposite C shapes, and I'm leaving chunks of red because I want it kind of variegated. And I'm not doing anything if it's behind very much. Okay. We are going to then move on to the yellow. It's kind of a golden yellow. Like I said, this yellow is not, let me mix it where you guys can see it. I need to add white to this yellow to make it opaque. I can add more yellow to make it a stronger yellow, but I need that white in there to make it opaque. So we're going to start with the flowers. Yeah, that oil pastel just doesn't come through. So this is a Pinterest fail, guys. We'll just add it on top. Now where I've used the straight yellow, you guys can't see this, I'm off. I use the straight yellow and it does, because the yellow is opaque, or not opaque, you can see the oil pencil behind it. So our white is blocking it out. So if I were to just use, and maybe I'll do that, let's just use straight yellow on our house. Okay, so while the yellow is still wet on the house, I want to bring in some brick shapes, and I'll do that with using orange. So I'm going to take some yellow and add the pink. Pink, I meant red. Let's see. So I'm just going to do some dry brushing, kind of, just like that. Make it look like brick. And while I still have this mixture, I'm going to do some highlights on the roof, just orange. Okay, moving along. Okay, so while it's still wet, I'm going to blend the centers of these hollyhocks that are yellow. I'm taking just an orange and putting it in the center there. Okay, I'm also going to take, I'll dip my paintbrush in white, in that yellow, and do the red hollyhocks. Let's see. Let me move it so you can see. Ooh, flowers over on the grass. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the flowers on the grass. Okay, let's look at the reference photo. We've got pink and red and orange. So you can just lay down circles. Okay, I did my orange. Now I'm going to go back in and do the other colors, the pink and the red flowers. And red. We're almost there, guys. Almost the end. We have 10 more minutes, and I need to just do some details. I'm going to go pretty quick. The very first thing is you want black on your brush, and you're going to make a real black and white. You're going to make it a gray. You're going to do stones on the chimney. You're going to do a gray sidewalk. That's too dark. The front step is gray. It leads down these stairs. Smear it if you want it lighter. We'll go back over that with the black felt pen mark. Something else I was going to do with the gray. While I've got it, I'm going to dip into white just on top of that gray, and then just highlight the walkway and like the flat side of the steps, if that makes sense. Just do 3 lines going down that are a little bit lighter. Sorry. I don't know if you can see that. I just did highlight it a little bit. Okay. We've got a blue door, blue front door. So I'm not rinsing off the gray, I'm just doing blue on top of it. And I'm going to take a dot with the bottom of my brush and just do a doorknob. I'm just going to do the gray on the windowsill here. And that. Oh, and then the gray walkway, or cobblestone road kind of thing. I'm going to water that down though, because I want it kind of opaque-y, almost watercolory. Because it gets mottled. Oh, I'm not seeing it. Okay, hold on. There we go. See how I'm leaving? I'm going to be leaving kind of the inside. We're just going to do yellow, kind of like a yellow brick road. We're just going to highlight that with the gray and the yellow mixed. Look at the reference photo. You can see that it's cobblestones or something. An uneven road. Okay. Oh, that's what I was going to do. This same gray that you got on your brush, you can do the tree trunks that are up above the house. They're almost a blue, I guess. They're not really brown at all. But I'm just going to do them in gray today. And the very last thing, we need to do a bit of yellow on our chimney, on the two chimneys and the thing across. I keep moving off. Can you guys see that? I kind of put yellow right there on the chimney top thing. Okay, so then we are going to finish off the green on our hollyhocks. So I'm just going to take the green straight out of the jar and just start dabbing it in. As I'm going down, I'm going to be using a brighter green. Those buds just are really a tight, dark green. I've got buds down here at the bottom. There's a few more right here. Okay, then we just fill in the green. Yep. Oops, that's a flower. Wow, I missed 2 flowers that I can see so far. I have to go back. Anyway. This is where you can add different colors to the green. You might want to add a blue, you might want to add the light green. You can do all sorts of variation. Terrible at keeping this where you guys can see it. Right now, whether it's a flower or a leaf or a bud, you just want to make sure there's no white showing. So you want to just cover up bare spots at this point. This bottom right-hand corner is going to be filled with green. It can just be all sorts of different colors of green. Wow, it is time to end our class. This took a little longer than I thought. So I'm going to show you really quick. If you guys want to pay attention, I'm going to show you how to take the felt pen and go around it once it's dry. Okay? Maybe that's too far in. Okay, so you can see up here where I painted white over. So I'm just going to go like this and come around. Do you see how that cleans up the line? Okay. So on the tree here, I'm trying to do it so my hand's not in the way. Just going to go over all the little jiggly jag lines that got covered up with paint, and you're just going to re-blacken them. So this can be with paint. You can get your paintbrush out with the black again. You could also just do it with a marker. You can do it with a black, what do they call those? Big click kind of pens. You can use a Sharpie. This is a permanent pen, but it doesn't have to be permanent. So I think even your Crayola would work on it. But you're just going over and defining it again. Okay, so I'm going to skip to the house and just show you a little bit of that. Now, obviously, I used paint the first time, so it's a little easier. You guys can actually start a painting with a permanent marker and then add your color. So we use paint, but you could do a marker. Can you see the chimney? It's just a little more distinct, having a black outline around it. Oh, we forgot the smoke, guys. That's one thing you have to have. So that'll be the last thing we do. So you just continue going around it. As far as the flowers go, once you've outlined them, I'll show you what I do. Again, you can take your what do you call it? Chalk pencil and make marks on it. Okay. So if you look at the smoke on the page, oh, we have to add birds too. It is not outlined. It's just a wisp. And so it hardly even shows up. So I just want you to go ahead and take the blue and water it way down. Let me go out. Okay. I'm watering the blue, so it's really watery. And then I'm just going to take it up through there. Did you guys see that? Can you see that? See the smoke? This one will go this way, and I'm going to have it intertwine You see that? Okay. Any other questions? That's kind of it. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you all for joining today. It was fun adventure in acrylics. I think I love cleaning it up with the marker. It makes it more sharp and crisp, and it's really nice that way.